Hey, welcome everybody to B10 Art. My name is Lazaro Gomez. This is my live stream. We're just chilling out, listening to some smooth jazz. Oh man, that's funny. Straight chilling. I think that's everything. Yeah, that's looking good. Got the mic. Welcome everybody. Welcome. If this is your first time here, allow me to be the first and only to say welcome. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for checking me out. My name is Lazaro Gomez. I'm an artist. I do live streams whenever I can. And tonight is it's one of those nights where I'm working on a personal project that I want to do, and so I'll be live streaming for about an hour and a half. It kind of all depends on, on what I got going on. I do have to make dinner later on. Hey, Dicef, how's it going, brother? Good to see you, man. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for hanging out. So yeah, you know the deal. Very chill. So I was completing orders on Threadless, and I saw that there's a new contest, and the new contest is for like rabbit or something. I think that's the theme. Oh, Year of the Rabbit. Year of the Rabbit is the theme that they brought up. It's a brand new theme, and so I said, I think I could do that. So I started looking at the catalog of artwork that I have. Kind of like, I have a bunch of sketchbooks that through the years I've been doodling in and kind of putting away. But now I've done that digitally. When I got my new tablet, I started doing that digitally. So every once in a while, lunch breaks, early in the morning when I come back from the gym, things like that, I'll do a little doodle, whatever's in my mind, just kind of and build up this library. And so I did have this particular character here. It's a little bunny. I did have, that in the sketchbook, and I thought it'd be funny. Originally, it was going to be like a Minecraft, like a Minecraft. What do you call that? A smash up or mash up. And so I figured, well, it'd be kind of cool if it was just like, if I did do something like that, some kind of mashup or whatever that can go for Threadless. And there is a contest, and hopefully I could win it. Hey, Smooth. How's it going? Good to see you. The Face Mates. Hello. Oh, you got an hour to kill? Cool. Right on. Well, thank you. Thanks for coming in. Welcome. And so, yeah, I just thought it'd be kind of cool just to mess with this little sketch that I have, upload it to Threadless, and if I win, I win. If I don't, I don't. I don't know. It's just like, it's one of those cool things. So they, if you're not familiar with that, they have contests over there, and they have like winning prizes and stuff like that. So I think the winning prize. Hang on, let me go over there to the interwebs. But either way, I just thought it was kind of cool to enter these kinds of contests. I do the same thing over at Instructables, and they host certain contests throughout the year and stuff like that, and they give out free goodies and cash prizes and stuff like that. So this one is Year of the Rabbit. Where did I see it? Your profile. Here we go. Design challenges. So design challenge, Year of the Rabbit. So far, there's 219 designs. So the grand prize or first prize is $1,250 cash, plus another $250 or $250 in gift card or gift code that you could spend on the site. Second prize would be $500, $250 for gift code. Third prize is $250 and $250 gift code. So, plus all the designs, including the first place winner, can earn up to 20% per unit on product of your design if it's sold through Threadless. And so that seems pretty cool to me. I'm like, all right, cool. There's there's $1,000 on the line. There's prizes. There's all kinds of goodies. And so I said, let's go for it. So here we are, um, just kind of working on that. So we do have a couple of shorts, B10 art shorts. Basically, they're art-related videos that we take a look at, or anything interesting that you want me to share with you guys. I can certainly do that. And so we'll get into some of those later on. But for right now, we can concentrate on this here. So this is what we got going on. Hopefully everybody is doing great. It was a hell of a busy weekend for me. I might have done like way too much in a single weekend, but it was a lot of fun and it was needed, just kind of get my headspace in the right place. I know I did miss Spooky Shorts on Friday, and I hope to be there with my friends again really, really soon. But yeah, so it was a crazy weekend. On Thursday, or sorry, when was that? Friday. There was a friend of mine that I work with. He got promoted, and so it was his promotion party. So we were doing that. But then also on the weekend, Saturday, it was Mardi Gras, and one of my daughters wanted to go see Sean Paul, so definitely had to go do that. There was another birthday party for my other daughter, her friend. So we had to kind of like, divide and conquer as parents often do. So my wife went with one daughter, I went with the other daughter to Mardi Gras, and then we all kind of got together and took the girls to the Strawberry Festival, which is pretty awesome. I've never been. I've always wanted to go, so that was my first time going to the Strawberry Festival, and it was really cool. It was humongous. As far as fairs go or festivals go, it was pretty large or grand in scale. So it's like, if I had to guess, it would be maybe about 5 or 6 blocks wide by maybe 2 or 3 blocks deep. Like if you were looking at an aerial map or whatever, it's kind of like, you have these blocks like that. So I want to say it was like 4 that way, 3 this way. So it was all of this. And then you had like rides over here. You have a big stadium right here. And then even more stuff this way. So I was like, whoa, it's a big place. It was a big place. It was hot. It was bright and sunny. Beautiful day. So we got a little bit of suntan. But overall, we had a good time. And, it was fun to be there. It's just one of those things that it's like, we had a really good time. And just like everything you could imagine in a fair. Publix, I guess, was one of those sponsors, so they had a tent set up where you could hear live music, and they had different, acts coming up. That Friday night, Ludacris performed, that Saturday night, Ludacris performed in the stadium, which is pretty awesome. I would have loved to seen that show, but I was obviously at Mardi Gras. And then they have just like every single food, drink that you could possibly imagine. And at one point in time, Moonboy, or Grilling for Guns, he made a joke where because he was there the same day, and he called me and he's like, "Hey man, I'm over here by the corn dog stand," and I'm like, "Which one?" There's like thousands of them, and he immediately starts laughing, and it's like, yeah, that's my point exactly. There's so many corn dog stands that it became the ongoing joke throughout the day. It's like, well, I wonder what they sell here. They probably sell corn dogs. And so that was going on. But overall, we had a really good time. Like I said, I had never been to that festival or anything like that. So it was brand new to me. But yeah, it was pretty cool. And so, my daughters, of course, they're kind of new to carnival rides and stuff like that. So they had a brand new experience, and it was really neat to see them kind of come out of that shell and have a good time. Because yeah, carnival rides can be scary, especially the first time when you don't know what to expect. You know, it's like, ooh, I don't know about this. But they had a great time. We ended up also. Well, I didn't eat much because there's really not that much stuff to eat for vegetarians and stuff. But I did have pizza, so it was a little bit of a cheat day. A little bit of a cheat day, and I would say if you're going to go to the festival, if you're here in Central Florida and you're going to go to the festival, I would say bring like some kind of either flask or like thermos or something like that to keep water in, because that seems to be one of the things that we kept buying. We kept buying like water bottles, and they're $4 each. I wasn't too crazy about the idea of the water bottles because they're plastic bottles. We're kind of messing up the environment or whatever, but hopefully they recycled and did all the right things. But that was my biggest thing is I was thirsty. I was thirsty the whole day, and I was like, ooh, okay, we need to need to figure this out. But overall, it was a pretty darn good time. A lot of vendors, a lot of different things that they're selling, especially outside of the event. I thought that was kind of interesting too, because they had like these vendors set up outside, and they're selling food and drinks and just like items. It was cool. It was really neat. Like I said, it was my first time there, so I thought it was pretty cool. Sweet. So did Dicef and the Face Mates, y'all had a good weekend, I'm hoping? Anything exciting? Sometimes it's also good to just kind of lay low. I know after this weekend, I was like, oh my god, man, I'm so exhausted. And we got there around noon. Stayed until about 8, maybe 8:30, something like that, and we were just like done, exhausted. Came home. I had a small snack, had some cereal, and just called it a night. I was done. It's like, all right, good night, see ya. But it was definitely a lot of walking around. So if you wanna get your steps in, that's the place to do it. Because we did a lot of walking. I think at one point in time, in like 8 hours, we walked like close to 10,000 steps. So like I looked at my watch, and it was like 10,000 steps at one point. So that little bit of calorie deprivation. It's like we need food. And again, it's like there was certainly, no lack of food, but when you also eat so clean, eating carnival food, it's not always the best. Because, your stomach is not used to it. And so you you could eat that sort of stuff, and it's like a bomb. It's like, why do I feel so sluggish? Everything is super sweet. Lemonade has like a ton of sugar in it. But hey, if you're a kid, that's the best. Hello, hello. Welcome. First time chatter. Right on. Yeah, sorry, we don't do that. No promotions. You are welcome to stay and hang out. But yeah, so like I said, there's tons of stuff to eat, but it's not really, the best the best food for you. So, but as far as I can tell, they didn't really like check bags or anything like that. I didn't have a bag with me, but my wife did, and so they didn't really do any kind of like bag search or anything like that. So if you brought in like maybe snacks or a drink or something like that, I don't think they would frown upon that, So, but yeah, the Strawberry Fest, it is located in Plant City, and yeah, we had a good time. Mardi Gras was fun as well. We went and saw Sean Paul, and I think he did a great job. He sounded really good. Played as many of his hits that he could play. Yeah, it wasn't bad. We had a good time. We walked around, did a lot of rides and stuff like that. Had a nice lunch, so I enjoyed myself while I was there. And my daughter is now putting in her coaster creds. So she's starting to ride a lot of the rides, and we kind of got on the Sky High trolley, which is like one of the first rides that she ever rode as a toddler. And so now it's a tradition. We always ride it when we go there. And so that was fun. We had a good time. They had a lot of food, like all the typical Mardi Gras food and stuff like that. So that was fun as well. Yeah, that was a good time. Cool. So we do have a short that we could take a look at. This is designing a custom kit bash library with Gavin Manners. So if you're not familiar with Genome, Genome is a, I guess, 2D, 3D artist concept art website where you could post your artwork and kind of, it's almost like Instagram and LinkedIn got together and created this place, but it was there way before any of these sites were around. So Genome has been around since the early 2000s, I want to say, and so they do have a lot of cool stuff. This is all concept art stuff, so we can take a quick look at that real quick. Let me pause my music here. But yeah, this will be the first B10A art short for today, designing a custom kit bash library with Gavin Manners. So if we want to check this out, sit back and let's see. These are super cool.
Hi, my name's Gavin, and I'm a concept artist working in the games industry. I specialise in hard surface environments, and my passions are mechs, vehicles, and spaceships. I've got about 5 years' experience in the industry, and I started relatively late at 31 years old, but I've managed to make quite a lot of progress in a relatively short period of time. So, enough about me, let's get onto the subject of the workshop. Kit bash libraries can be super useful for saving time when you need to produce a design quickly for a mood piece, creating objects quickly for some background filler, or you quickly want to add detail and the indication of functionality to a hard surface design. I use kit bash parts all the time in my regular work, and they're a real time saver.
Indeed.
The inspiration for this workshop came from seeing some of the premium kit bash sets you can buy. They're really well done, and I'm sure they're worth every penny, but at $200 plus, they can be prohibitively expensive for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I always find the parts to be too recognizable, so you can never really get away from the feel of the original designer's language and intention.
That's my biggest
This is
problem.
why I wanted to show that with a bit of planning, it's possible to create your own unique kit bash library for use on your own projects and designs that won't be recognizable in the same way. Also, with this process, you can make multiple libraries and keep adding to them over time with the exponential growth principle I cover in the workshop.
That's
These kinds of asset libraries are invaluable to a concept artist, as they allow you to create designs using your own design language and design thinking, and most importantly,
then you
they
can
save
paint
time
over
so you're not
those.
modeling everything every time you start a new project. And the best part is, as we're using Blender, it's totally free. In this workshop, I'm going to
sweet.
take you through the process of creating your own hard surface kit bash set, from the initial brief creation to drive your design thinking to creating and texturing your parts. Then, crucially, I'm going to show you how to use the parts in an effective way and how to approach designing with the exponential idea generation mindset. I cover sub-assemblies and how grouping your basic parts in different ways not only generates better designs, but also creates a lot of versatility in your kit bash library. I'll then be taking you through my thought process as I design a big, medium, and small mech out of the kit bash parts I make. And then I'll briefly cover rendering and my paint over process to tie the kit bash design together into a finished piece of concept art. This won't be a Blender or Photoshop basics tutorial though, so you'll need to know how to use the software, though I do go through the techniques and tools that I use to achieve the results. So let's get going.
So that's pretty cool. This particular person, Gavin Manners, he's a concept artist, and he's doing a workshop, and this is promotional for his workshop, which is pretty neat. Like I mentioned before, the Genome Workshop is just it's a place that I frequent for years. They help me out a lot to kind of develop my art skills and stuff like that. Their workshops are neat. To kind of give you an idea of how old they are, you used to be able to buy these DVD workshops. So like they had these workshops and they would sell them in like DVD format, and so you would watch the DVD or whatever. So they're really really cool. That's something. This is something that's kind of new, not new, but like people are starting to do now. Like just basically creating these libraries with 3D models that they can just kind of interchange and use and this and that, whatever, and then paint on top of that and create new things from it. But Gavin is correct in the sense that if you use the same item over and over and over, it becomes recognizable throughout your work, and that's necessarily not good for a concept artist. But for myself, when I used to do concept art and stuff like that, I did have a library, and I still do have a library, which I use in my art prints that have different kinds of textures, different kinds of like materials, and 3D models, like basically like 3D shapes and stuff like that I could use in certain paintings and stuff like that. So not a bad thing to check out. If you want to check something out like that, definitely go to the genome.com. You'll see all the workshops there. And some of them are live, so you do have to like tune into a live session or whatever. Some of them you could buy. But either way, if that's your thing, definitely check it out. But yeah, that was the first short for us today. That was pretty cool. It's always good. Oh. Yeah. Right on. So that's pretty neat. Hang on just 1 second. Sorry about that. Just talking to the beautiful queen. Sweet. So yeah, cool little website. So yeah, if you have any kind of videos that you want me to check out, whether they be art, I want them to be art related. Let me just preference that. But if you do have something cool like a movie trailer or whatever, we'll definitely check it out. But I just don't want to. I don't want to do a lot of this. I did find this other video, and I thought it was pretty neat that we'll check out here in a minute. But yeah, just let me know, and we'll look at your videos. Someone mentioned earlier that they like my art style. Yeah, so I draw inspiration from a few artists that are my favorite artists, and sometimes it's like blatantly obvious. Other times not so much. But I do love Scotty Young. He's one of my favorite artists. If you're not familiar with Scotty Young, he did a lot of stuff for Marvel, and he's also famous for I Hate Fairyland, or I Hate Fairyland. So his line art is just simply incredible. Um, Nate Van Dyke is another artist that I like. Tim Burton, Chris Grimley, and Eric Powell. So Eric Powell wrote and illustrated The Goon, which is another comic. Tim Burton, of course, everybody knows who Tim Burton is. But I became a fan of his illustrations shortly after watching his early films. So of course I became a fan from watching Nightmare Before Christmas and Batman, and then discovered his artwork, and I thought it was so cool because it was very sketchy, very messy, and stuff like that. And so you could see I do the same thing with my line art. Only I use an eraser to kind of to create that look or feel. And so Eric Powell, he like I said, he worked on The Goon. We could probably look that up. Eric Powell. Let's see. Oop, can't do that. I just messed up my stream. Let's see. Yeah, so yeah, I'll probably post something up, but that's gonna mess up my stream. Sorry about that. I keep forgetting about that. But I do like kind of messy artwork, or like not messy artwork, but like messy line art. What I love about it is, you think about line weight, and so some artwork has very fine or very light line art, and that's pretty cool too. But at the same time, um, I just like the difference between line weight. So if I draw a line, different kinds of pressures and angles of the pen will kind of give you a different characteristic, and that's what I like. So of course, I could clean it up. I could do like, super clean artwork, and not have any of that. But at the same time, it's kind of fun. It's fun to not be so clean with your lines and stuff like that. So I think it's like a different kind of character. You know, it gives your artwork flavor, if you would. So I like that sort of stuff. Right? Not everything should be super clean. Here we are. I think I think if the squared one saw this, he'd he'd kind of freak out a little bit because he does love like bunnies, and so if he saw this, he might he might want it. Be like, I want it. Which I don't blame him because I would want it too. So it's kind of weird. I guess I don't know. Maybe it's not so weird, but like, you know, there are some things that I draw or that I enjoy. You know, I like it. I like. Is that a thing? Maybe, I don't know. To fan out or fan out over your own artwork. Maybe that'd be something, right? But yeah, there are some designs that I like. Some, you know, sometimes I look at something and I'm like, I could have done that a little bit better, or you know, whatever. But other things, I'm proud of. You know, it's okay to be that way. You know, like I used to be like highly critical of all of the work that I would do. So I think that's something that like early artists do when they're starting out, and it's like they hate everything that, you know. They look at, you know, they look at their artwork and it's like they're too critical of their work, and they don't, you know, they don't allow for growth. And so, you know, when you first start, you're like, ugh. And I was guilty of it. You know, I did the same thing. I was like, everything I drew looked like garbage. But then you start learning all these tips and tricks. Like, I say tips and tricks, but they're not really that. Like, you learn to educate yourself, and you start, you know, building up an arsenal of skill. And so, yeah, you start looking at form and function, anatomy, color, you know, structure, composition, all of these things that become tools for an artist to use later on. And in my podcast, Noodle Doodle, I mentioned that there's a difference between like skill and style. So like you could have a particular style but have very little skill, and it's not a bad thing. It's just you're developing your skills because everybody's at a different uh, point in their career, or you know, whatever. That's, you know, that's basically defining that. And I never see that as a bad thing. You know, there's people that are like, oh, that's just my skill. That's just my style. You know, I draw ugly because that's my style. It's like they may be, you know, they may be hiding the fact that they're not very skilled and calling it style. And so there is that. But I was there too. I used to do the same thing, and it's like, oh, you don't know how to draw anatomy. This arm is bigger than the other one. It's like, nah, it's just my style. It's like, no, I really didn't know how to do it. And you know, like you see artwork where characters are like hiding their hands in their pockets or behind their head or something like that, and it's like, it's because of that reason, because they're, you know, they're hiding that weakness, and that's not not good for an artist to do. You know, if you're an artist, you should you should identify that right away and then fix it. And so, when I was in college, in art school, we would have these peer reviews, and you create a piece of artwork. Like all the students would create a piece of artwork. Let's say we had a subject, and we're like, all right, we're doing these flowers or whatever, and everybody would put their artwork up, and then peers would review it. It's like, well, I don't like this, I do like that, this and that, whatever, and you go through that whole thing, and then the instructor would do the same thing, grade it, and then the instructor would invite somebody from the outside class, from outside the class, to do the same thing. And so overall, you have a peer review, a teacher review, and then a guest review, and that would determine your grade. And so I think that's fantastic because, yeah, you're gonna get boxed in, right? You're in the arena, you're getting hit, you're getting boxed in, and people are gonna basically express their true their true thoughts, and you deal with that. And so that's how you get better at it. And I guess that kind of stuck with me, you know what I'm saying? Because since it's such a cool concept, that's what I do. So I show my artwork to everybody, and it's like, what do you think? And people are kind of like hesitant to say anything because they're like, oh, we don't want to hurt his feelings, or whatever. But it's like, it's okay to do that. It's okay to identify your weakness as an artist and then build up on it. So hands tend to be a problem. My face has a certain style. Dicep's face has a certain style. Yeah, man, it's a good style to have. You're a strapping young lad, sir. But yeah, so like, the pain point for all artists, it's like, it's hands, it's feet, or I said feet, feats of cunning. But yeah, like feet, hands, of course, any anatomy it proves to be difficult for artists because those are complex things, right? But if you go to art school and you learn how to break these things down, the human body is just made up of shapes. So if you get the basic shapes down, then your proportions and this and that, whatever, and you kind of spend a little bit of time on that. And for me, when I was real young, my sketchbooks were full of really bad anatomy. And it's only when I went to college that started learning the difference between style and skill. so so that is a real thing, and I'm grateful for that. And I know that I said this before, and it may have upset other artists, but I don't, I'm not being a jerk, is what I'm trying to say. I'm not trashing another artist for their skill level, but I am, I am saying there is a difference. So it's that way for anything. If you're a musician and you study an instrument, whatever that instrument is, you're going to be bad at it because you're learning the instrument. And then it's only later on where you master that instrument. And that's where your true sense of skill and talent comes to the forefront, and that's a beautiful thing. And yeah, you should never shy away from that. Is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, you gotta. So that was one thing. Know the difference between style and skill. Second thing that I love, these two things I live by, is know the rules. That way you can bend and break them. So color theory is one of those things. Like, you got to know what colors go together. You need to know your cool colors, warm colors, uh, primary color, secondary colors, all of that stuff, so that then you understand color theory. And so it's no different when it comes to artwork either. It's like you have to be really good at line art so that you could mess up line art if that's your style, right? If that is truly your style. So there we go. We have a little bunny. He's looking real good, and we're gonna change this up a little bit. Yeah, here we go. So I think all of those things come into play, and when I was in college, there were some there were some students that were like, "I hate that teacher. They're so stupid. They gave me a bad grade." It's like, I mean, it is kind of bad, but uh, the cool thing is that they're industry professionals. So our teachers were artists or are artists, and they're in that field. And so, they've gotten their ass handed to them, for a lack of a better term, but they know what it's like. they're not doing any, they're not discrediting your artwork or doing anything like that. It's just like it is what it is. See it all the time. It's also like art definitions too that get tangled up. I know a lot of people think fan art is a bad word or a bad term, but I don't think it is. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like if you're creating, if I create a piece of artwork, like let's say, all right, so I wrote a kid's book called Zombot. So if I wrote a book and it's my artwork and it's my work and someone else creates artwork based off of that, that is fan art. And so people get upset or whatever because it's like, oh cool, you made The Last of Us fan art. It's like, it's not fan art, it's art. It's like, yes it is, but you're creating something that's already someone else's creation. And so that's a very ugly word, right? So like fan art is always viewed as something negative, but I never see it as something negative. I've created fan art. Like I'm a fan of Star Wars. I created Star Wars artwork. Like there's nothing wrong with that. I didn't work on Star Wars. I didn't create Star Wars. So yeah, I fan art. So but that's something that kind of made its way through conventions and stuff like that. Like I always heard that term when I was doing art shows and stuff like that in comic book convention, and people would get upset about it if you mentioned it, and it's like, okay, sorry man, it's not fan art. Us artists are very sensitive creatures, are we not? I think a lot of it has to do with egos, of course. So egos get in the way, and that's something I also talked about in my podcast. Know how to kill your ego. So it's good to be proud of your artwork. It's good to uh, be strong and positive, but not be egotistical about it. So there's a difference between that as well. All right, here we go. This is a second short. This is something that a friend of mine sent to me. This is inside Noma, the world's best restaurant. And if you're not familiar with Noma, a lot of chefs go to study at this world-renowned restaurant, and it's all fine dining. There is an art to fine dining, and that's the reason why I'm showing this video, because I believe that there's an art to everything. Whether you're a seamstress or an artist, there's an art to everything. So we're gonna go ahead and check this out. This is gonna be the second short for today. This is Inside Noma. Inside Noma, which is the world's best restaurant. And the reason why I'm playing it and someone sent it to me is because it's closing down, which is interesting. I don't think it's gonna close down. I think some kind of fine dining society or something will keep it alive or keep it open. But I do believe it is the owner's decision to go ahead and close down the restaurant. So let's check that video out.
In my career, which is also Noma's lifespan, I think 50 Bests was the magic little thing that changed everything. Not just for Noma, but for this region. Most of the best experiences when you dine out, they're not at the best restaurants. They are at the places where you feel a connection to something, where you feel like there's a culture that you like, and you feel like, okay, I'm here now, I can feel everything, I can feel the people, they're doing it because they really want to.
When I heard that Noma was awarded the World's Best Restaurant in 2021, I was so proud to be part of this amazing team. It's just so cool what we're able to do together. When you go to work here at Noma, you have a feeling that we're doing something really special, but amazing to know that our guests feel the same way.
I think I love my job tremendously. I love being with people and I love to work in this team. To work in a place like this where you have the chances to work on the highest level possible and to get a team from all over the place with the same drive. I think that's pure luck to have that chance.
It is. It's very difficult to find that balance.
Noma opened in 2003, and to tell you the truth, the seed of my hope and dream and aspirations at that time was simply to have a place that I could live from. Nothing could have ever prepared us for the earthquake of things that was gonna happen. It was wild.
I'm assuming he's talking about code.
Working with Rene Redzepi is extremely inspiring. He just sees things sometimes that the rest of us don't see, like flavors that work together. And I think one of the things that is amazing is
I might have been mistaken about it closing down. So if it turns out that I was wrong, I do apologize for that. So let's continue watching.
is also how he sees the potential in people.
Gina Noma has developed over the years. At first, we were very focused on ingredients that we wanted to explore a landscape. We call it time and place. Where in the world are you? What time of the year are you in? It was very driven by ingredients. But over the years, time and place has become, where are you in the world? Meaning, are you at Noma? And so we're still exploring the natural world, but doing so with a little more curiosity towards the world at large. We developed so much, we traveled so much, we've seen so many things, learned so much. It's a creative enterprise. That's how I would say it today.
Wow. Yep, I was wrong. For some reason, I thought they were closing down. I do apologize for that. Yeah, so that's Noma. That's the world's best restaurant in 2021, which is really, really cool. If you, like I said, if you consider the culinary arts to be some, artistic, which I do, you would enjoy that sort of stuff. Fine dining is interesting because a lot of people are like, why am I going to spend so much money on this tiny little thing? But it's a lot more than that. So you're getting service, you're getting a meal that is basically the chef's artwork. So imagine, it kind of happens the same way for artists. If I sell like my art prints, I sell 11 by 17 art prints for $15 each. And, you know, a lot of people are like, well, that's too little, you know, because you're so talented and blah, 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 and this and that. You should be charging more. And then somebody else will say, my God, dude, like, what are you, Picasso? Like, why are you charging $15 for an art print? And so you have these two completely different things, and then everything in between. And that's not, you know, that's not to say like the value of it. You know, if I do a one of a kind art piece of artwork, you know, on canvas, a painting or whatever, and I feel it's a lot more important than prints, because if I made 10 prints, okay, well, there's 10 prints. If I made 1,000, I made 1,000. But it's like, it kind of varies. It varies in price and stuff like that. So, yeah, of course, art pieces, you know, one of a kind art pieces, they're going to be valued more. And it's kind of the same thing with fine dining. You know, you're getting the experience of Noma, let's say. You know, if you go to Noma, you're experiencing Noma. You're not just rolling into Taco Bell to get a burrito. It's like, no, you're going to experience it the same way you would go to an art museum. You know, you go into the art museum, you're going to pay a fee, and you're going to go and enjoy all of the pieces of artwork that are on display. So you have to think about, you know, fine dining in those kinds of terms, and it makes it a little bit easier to, like, I guess, quote unquote, justify the price of what you're paying for. So let's see. That's pretty cool. So yeah, you know, when you look at things in those terms, it's completely different. You know, you could appreciate the hard work that these people are putting into the restaurant. Now, I don't know where I got the idea of them closing down. Maybe I read a separate article. No more restaurant. Okay, so yeah, that's what it is. So the video I showed was just describing Noma. There is an article on Bon Appetit that says Noma is closing, saying fine dining is unsustainable. So I'm assuming because of COVID, that might be the reason. But here is the article. If anybody wants to read it, I'll go ahead and post it in the chat. So interesting. Noma, the Copenhagen restaurant that helped to define the genre of ultra high-end, locally foraged and culinary groundbreaking cuisine, announced that it will close its doors in 2024. So there you go. It is closing. Wow. Interesting. So they win the prize for #1 restaurant in 2021. And then in 3 short years, it's closing down. So I would imagine that would add even more value, because people are going to spend all of this year traveling to Copenhagen to experience Noma. So it would certainly drive up the price of the experience and the dining and the fine dining. So interesting. That is very interesting. Huh. How about that? I would imagine it's a lot of work. just to, just to have this restaurant in place. Sweet. Here we go. So, again, if you just tuned in, my name is Lazaro Gomez. This is B10 Art. It's what I do when I'm working on projects. I kind of live stream and show everybody what I'm working on. If it's your first time here, welcome. If you enjoy what you're seeing, then I hope you stay for a long, long time. I'm currently working on a design for Threadless. Basically, they're running a contest, and I'm creating a piece of artwork for that contest. So, like I said, if you just tuned in, welcome. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully you find a nice, comfortable home to hang out and spend some time with us. So. There we are. I also got to say thank you to new followers. We have new followers here on Twitch, on Instagram, and also Pinterest. So thank you for that. I appreciate the follows. If you're an artist and you're here on Twitch, definitely let me know. That way I can follow you guys back. I mean, I follow everyone back anyways. That anyone that follows me, I follow them back. But if you're an artist in particular, let me know. That way I can kind of showcase your artwork here. Just recently, I became friends with some artists here on Twitch. They're really cool. They're really cool artists. They create a lot of neat stuff, and they play trivia and have a really good time. So I do want to give them a small shout out if I can find their page. Here we go. Leaf Kicker. So yeah, definitely check out Leaf Kicker. They're a really cool dynamic duo, if you would, of artists here on Twitch. And so I just discovered their channel, immediately followed them. And so if you haven't seen their channel, definitely check them out. So also check out Dicef. Dicef, he's not an artist, but he's a good friend of mine. And he does a lot of video gaming. Also on Tuesdays, we play a lot of music, kind of hang out. His channel is a lot of fun as well. So definitely check out Dicef. Check out spookyshorts.tv. Every Friday, I get together with the Square One and Moonboy, and we watch horror shorts from YouTube and kind of hang out and make each other laugh and have a good time there as well. So yeah, like I said, if you're an artist and you're here on Twitch, definitely let me know. I will certainly draw some attention to your channel and kind of help you out. So yeah, it's what I do. It's what I do. And if it's your first time here checking me out, thank you very much. Oh, another artist, buddy of mine. He does video games. He does movie nights. He also does a lot of artwork. John Lewis. Make sure to follow him here on Twitch as well. I'm not sure on his streaming schedule, but I do believe he tries to stream as much as he can during the week. So yeah, yeah, these are pals. These are pals. It's always nice to um, it's always nice to have like a cool community, just where everybody can come in and discover each other. Um, I like that. Ooh, I don't like this. This I don't like. But so yeah, a lot of the times it's kind of it's hard to discover new things. Like I joined Twitched. I'm twitched. I joined Twitch just for that reason, because I did want to find art channels and stuff like that that I can view and hang out and just kind of be part of their community. And so that's why I follow artists and stuff like that, because I do enjoy it. I love seeing different people create different artwork, and of course I'm a fan of art myself. I have artwork here in my house that I collect that are from other artists. And so I'm just as much a fan of art as anybody else is. And so, if you discover me, that's awesome. I truly appreciate it. I'm grateful for that. But I also want you to discover other artists as well. Like, I don't understand like how someone can say, "Oh, I like this artwork, but not that one," and I'm a fan of this, but not that. And it's kind of weird. It's like, well, you either are a fan of art or you're not. But I do understand that people may have different taste within art and stuff like that. So just like music, somebody can like rock music but not country music. It's still music, but different kinds of music. So I understand that. But in the grand scheme of things, like I said, I would think I would think you would, enjoy everyone's artwork. And it happens, somebody says, "Oh, I never saw this person, or I never saw that person. I didn't know about this person. I didn't know about that person." And, that makes sense. Can I not paste? Let's go back and do that again. How about a copy? Would a copy work? Ah. I see. And merge. Now they're the same layer. Okay, perfect. Perfecto. Excellent. All right, so we're slowly but surely getting there. All right. Yeah, you know what? I think I gotta go back to this layer. Ooh. Ugh. It's always fun to make strange noises. It's all part of the art process. If you're not doing strange noises, yeah, you have to make strange noises. Didn't Bob Ross make like Strange noises. Here we are. Here we go. Merge that. Good. Sweet. So yeah, if you're interested in purchasing some artwork, definitely check out my website, b10art.com. Got a little bit of everything for everyone. Weird stuff like this. Little buddies and odd things. But it's a lot of fun. Yeah. All right, we're going to lock that. Yeah, let's go with this one. It's coming off the rails. It's very chill. Whoopsie. There we go. The quiet storm. I don't know if that was everywhere. Was that everywhere? I guess like, what do they call that? Synced or syndicated, right? Syndicated radio show. The Quiet Storm. For some reason, that music was like reminded me of that. The Quiet Storm. It was something here in Florida growing up, because I would always hear it like late at night. The Quiet Storm. They would play music like this, like I guess because this is like chill, what do they call it? Like lo-fi or chill-fi or whatever. And it's funny because that became a thing where it's like, oh, it's chill this or, but to me, I'm like, no, that's the Quiet Storm. It's where they play Sade and all that stuff, But growing up, I enjoyed it. So I wonder if that was like nationwide. I would imagine so, right? I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Welcome to the Quiet Storm. I don't remember the host name. I'm sure they had a host. It had to be like the Quiet Storm with blah blah blah. But I think they had different DJs. Like in Miami, they had a different DJ than Seattle would. If it was in fact like syndicated, I would think they have different DJs. Yeah. But either way, those people really had smooth voices. They had like, I'm sure they had like really expensive microphones and all that good stuff, and they sound truly amazing. I don't. I just have I just have a microphone for meetings. Basic stuff, But yeah, the Quiet Storm. There we go. We're getting there. Very Easter vibes, if you would. Mm-hmm. Trying to think, there was a man, real late at night. there was a program that was here in Orlando, and I'm trying to remember the name of that one. But man, they would play some really trippy stuff. Like, it was all like, I don't know how to explain it, but it was almost like, it was electronic music for sure, but like this kind of like very weird, chill electronic music. But they would play it like really, really late at night, and I'm trying to remember the name of that. Oh man, but it was along those lines, like the Quiet Storm type deal. Um, but yeah, they played it on a local radio station too. It wasn't like trying to think what the name of that one was, but that one was really cool as well. They would just play these far out like tunes, and it's like, whoa. Yeah, they were really good. But I remember at the time, I used to work overnights, and I would listen to that, my headphones and stuff, which was pretty wild. There we go. We're getting there, slowly but surely. Yes. Just basically laying down some basic colors. Basically laying down some basic colors. It's like, what? What did you just say? What did you just say? That makes no sense, my man. Okay, here we go. So, a little bit of purple. Hopefully, somebody listening to this that lives here in Central Florida would remember what I'm talking about and let me know. That would be great. It was a show that would come on late at night. I want to say it was like whatever public radio station. Oh man, what's the public radio station? Whatever that is, that's where they would play it. It's like whatever NPR was here locally. That's where they would play all that trippy stuff. I'm guessing somebody at night at the radio station was like, screw it, I'm gonna play all this stuff because I like it. And it became a thing. Very similar to what they called Friday night vinyl. So Friday night vinyl, they would play like 80s music in real radio, which is 104.1 here in Central Florida. And mainly that was like a talk show or talk radio, but at night they would play music. Or sorry, Sunday night vinyl, not Friday night vinyl. Sunday night vinyl. But NPR would play all this like weird psychedelic electronic music. It was fantastic. It's really, really cool. But I simply don't remember the name of the show. It was like, it had a name, but I just never paid that much attention to it, I guess. about 2 more minutes here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and log off for the night. As I mentioned before, thank you very much. Anybody tuning in, if this is your first time, you just discovered my channel, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking it out. Hopefully this is your thing. If it's not, it's no big deal. It's not for everyone. But I do appreciate you coming around. So, as I mentioned before, this is very, very chill, very laid back as I do some artwork. Yeah. So, no pressure. This is a personal project I'm working on for a contest on Threadless. Hopefully I win. I don't know obviously what's going to happen. You know, this can go either way, anyway. Yeah, I could lose, I could win, it doesn't matter. Part of the process is to just kind of do things like this to kind of hone in your skill, to keep your art skills sharp, and to participate in something fun, you know? Like, I think art contests are a lot of fun. So I tend to kind of go for them whenever I see them, you know. And just like, all right, let's see what happens. Let's see if I win. So I don't know that there's any kind of judging or anything like that, but the contest is on Threadless. If you want to enter the contest yourself, go to threadless.com, and every so often they have like contests, and this is the contest I entered, or I'm going to be entering. This piece into is Year of the Rabbit. So they have a contest for Year of the Rabbit, and I couldn't pass it up because I myself was born in the Year of the Rabbit. So it only seemed right that I'm like, you know what? I'm going to enter this contest. Let's see what happens. It might be completely horrible, but we're going to go for it. And so that's the reason why I am creating this piece of artwork. And I will continue doing this, I guess, throughout the week. So if you tune in then, you can see the progression of the artwork. And I'll also be posting the final on Threadless and all my different websites, or social media sites, I should say. But yeah, we're getting there. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. Sweet. Well, this is me. As I mentioned before, thanks for tuning in. If you enjoy artwork and you like hanging out, definitely come check it out. I try to stream as much as possible during the week. And if you're an artist and you're on Twitch, let me know. That way I can go ahead and give you a follow and also draw some attention to you here on my stream. And we kind of help each other out. That way we build a nice art community. But yeah, so there you have it. A very nice, laid-back, chill live stream to kind of get the week started. And yeah, that's it. So feel free to contact me any way you want. Also, check out my website, B10A.com. I have prints, art stickers, all kinds of goodies there. And if you're watching the replay, thank you very much. You know, I know, of course, a lot of people like to watch the replay. Last week we had, I think probably the highest replay that I've had, which is pretty awesome. So I thank you for that as well. And so until next time, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.